All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Press for Truth TV. Today is Friday, January 25th, 2013. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about political dissent, the importance of having your voice heard, and more importantly, the importance of not backing down when the government tries to intimidate you for doing so. And joining us on the line today to talk about that, we're going to be speaking with Cort. And Lucas is an activist based out of Hamilton, Ontario. He's been doing some great work with the guys there at Canadian Awareness Network. And Lucas and the boys there were recently making their voices heard loud and clear to Stephen Harper's motorcade as they bullhorned the Prime Minister. And that subsequently led to Lucas being contacted by the RCMP. They wanted to meet up with him to have a little chat. So Lucas, man, thanks for joining us to tell us all about it. And we appreciate you taking some time to speak with us here at Press for Truth.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. So why don't you start us off? Tell us a little bit about, for the folks who might not be familiar with your work, who you are and the groups that you're involved with there in Hamilton and what it is that you guys do.
Okay. Yeah. Well, like you said before, my name is Lucas Cort. I'm an activist here in Hamilton, and I work with Canadian Awareness Network with Terry Wilson and Frankie Gotts and Jordan and Anthony and all those good guys at Canadian Awareness. And we just really try to be really active in our community, trying to raise awareness, handing out, whether it be flyers about fluoride, whether it be getting petitions signed, trying to get the fluoride out of our water, all the way to informing people about the smart meters and stuff like that, or generally anything that's going on in the city and in our world. We try to raise awareness.
Yeah, you guys have been very active. You're certainly no stranger when it comes to confronting globalist scumbags, that's for sure. Of course, there was a time where you were had a chance to question Justin Trudeau. In fact, we'll play a little clip for the folks there. Here's a little taste of Lucas confronting Justin Trudeau. Check it out.
Just wondering, what's your stance on your father's decision to change our banking system? Well done. Would you, as Prime Minister,
I'm not here to defend my father's legacy. I'm here to talk about the future.
If you were Prime Minister, would you restore the Bank of Canada, or would you keep perpetuating the debt to the private banks?
You seem to have your mind made up. I'm listening to Canadians right now, and I'm hearing your perspective.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Trudeau, would you right your father's wrongs by restoring the Bank of Canada?
Please, stop yelling over here.
Sir, would you right your father's wrongs by restoring the Bank of Canada? We currently pay $170 million a day on compound interest to private banks. Could you please restore the Bank of Canada? Sir, $170 million a day on compound interest, it sure is a lot, sir. Would you restore the Bank of Canada?
I trust Mark Carney and what he's doing. Thank you.
All right, so that was rather intense. I was there as well. It felt like we were in the middle of a mosh pit there. It was quite the little media scrum. What was that like for you, man, confronting Justin Trudeau? You had some great questions for him.
Oh, thanks. It was pretty exciting. It really made me happy seeing him squirm when I was asking him those questions, seeing him just pure ignore me a lot of the time. His bodyguard was pretty angry at me. He worked pretty hard to keep me away from pursuing Justin with those hard-hitting questions.
Well, you know, it's of the utmost importance to get these questions on the record and to get these guys' reactions and their responses to these very legitimate questions, which other reporters, the mainstream out there, are just not willing to do. So props to you for doing that. So recently, I mean, you guys took the opportunity to make your voices heard to Stephen Harper, which is not an easy thing to do. The man is very, very hard to even get close to get close enough that he can even hear your voice. But you guys managed to do that, and then all of a sudden you were contacted by the RCMP simply for voicing your political dissent. Tell us a little bit about how all that came about.
All right, so the other day we went to the Toyota plant, and we wanted to, first of all, ask Stephen Harper some questions, but that clearly wasn't an opportunity for us because it's very hard to get interviews with him. Whenever you ask him questions, they have to be pre-approved. Very rarely that if you try to get into these events, you'll be accepted. But yeah, we went to the Toyota plant, and we wanted to either ask him some questions if we got the chance to see him, or megaphone him while he was on his way out. And that's when I pulled over on my four ways, everything. We got out of the car, we filmed, and Terry was there with the megaphone, basically telling him that we don't support the New World Order and the New World Order will fail. And yeah.
So you had a short little window there of opportunity to be able to get it out what you wanted to say. So you seized on the opportunity. You managed to get it done. Then tell us what happens next. Was it the following day that you were contacted?
Yeah, the following day, my mother called me telling me that the Integrated National Security Force, INSET for short, came to my house and was looking for me. So they left a bunch of numbers, and they called her multiple times trying to find out where I was and saying that I needed to contact them. So
what was the name of them again? Sorry.
INSET. It's the Integrated National Security Enforcement Team.
Okay.
And basically, when I contacted them, they wouldn't give me any information on why they wanted to speak with me. They wouldn't tell me anything over the phone whatsoever. They said, I asked them why they would not tell me, and they said, because we cannot prove who you are. And I said, I can prove who I am 100%. I can tell you my father's middle name, my mother's middle name. I could tell you my driver's license number right now. I can prove who I am. Can you please tell me why? And they just kept refusing, saying, we need to meet you in person. We need to meet you in person. And they wouldn't give me any information, any more information about who they were. They just said, just my name's, the one guy was John Marin from the Integrated National Security Enforcement Team. And yeah, they wouldn't give me any more information. So I had to meet them inside of a mall. Well, I had to meet them outside, but I asked them if they could please come inside the mall to meet me and talk to me.
The whole thing is starting off rather sketchy from their end. They won't even let you know what it's all about, and they just want to meet you in a mall. That's kind of strange. So anyways, you eventually go there, you meet up with them, you sit down with them in the mall. What happens next?
Okay, so I first sit down at the first table with Officer John Marin, and he comes down and sits down at the table with me. And he basically asked me if I was wearing a wire. He's like, "Are you wearing a wire?" I said, "What is this, Nazi Germany, man?" He's like, "Open your jacket to make sure if I wasn't wearing a wire." It was pretty ridiculous right there. So I said, I'm not a coward. I'll tell you if I'm going to basically record our conversation, So right after that, he asked if I was alone, and I said, I'm here with you right now. And then he asked if I came in with anyone, and I did, because I came with my friend earlier inside of there. And so then we got up from the table and moved to another location, because I guess he perceived that I was had someone there keeping an eye out. And so we went down and sat at another table. And that's when the next officer, named Stephen Roy, or is it Stephen Roy? Yeah, Stephen Roy sat down right next to me, and then he comes up and puffs his chest out, like trying to look intimidating. And basically, he told me to cut the act. And I don't know, I wasn't really pulling much of an act. I am who I am. I was just telling them, what I'm all about. And basically, he asked me what I was doing yesterday. And this was the previous day, so it would have been the day before Stephen Harper. And I said, I really didn't do anything wrong, so I don't know why I would be here, right? Because I did not do anything wrong. I basically voiced my opinion and basically helped Canadian Awareness Network voice their opinion. Mm-hmm. So then he asked me what I was doing that day. So I explained to him that we wanted to confront Stephen Harper with some hard-hitting questions, specifically about the New World Order and Bilderberg. And then after that, he asked me, what did you do after that? I said, nothing. And he said, do you want to hurt or kill Stephen Harper? And this was totally me off balance. Are you kidding? I'm all, I even said I'm all about the non-aggression principle. I'm totally against violence. I do not want to hurt anyone, under any circumstances. then and he basically said, due to me turning around and basically following the motorcade was perceived as a threat, and I could have been attempting to kill the Prime Minister.
So driving behind a Prime Minister's motorcade is potentially threatening the Prime Minister with death, apparently, here in 2013 in Canada. Unreal, man. Take us back a little bit. I missed the part about how did they get in touch with you in the first place? And you said they contacted your mother, but do you know how that came about?
I have no idea. They went to her house and knocked on the door looking for me.
They physically went to your mom's house, knocked on her door looking for you. That's not...
My mom was freaking out. She was like terrified. She didn't know what was going on.
Mm-hmm. Seems like, I mean, these guys are kind of intimidating you or trying to push you around a little bit to try to keep you quiet, it seems. That's a little bit of a drastic measure to contact you to show up on your front door of your mom's house.
Mm-hmm.
So then... So you're meeting with them, and they come right out with it and say, are you gonna kill the Prime Minister?
Yeah, they flat out asked me, do you want to hurt or kill the Prime Minister? Like, whoa, like, yeah, ridiculous.
Well, it's a sign of the fact that you guys are having an effect, and they realize that you guys are doing some good things, and you're having an effect there. Especially to the point where you're, getting close enough to the Prime Minister there to have your voice heard. So it's clearly they're to the point there where they want to show up and talk to you in person. That's unbelievable, man. But I certainly hope that's not going to deter you from doing what you're doing, right?
This adds steam to the engine.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if anything, this should encourage you to keep it up, let you know that you guys are having an effect out there.
Yeah, definitely. And it was pretty wild. He was saying we were perceived as a threat because you never know if people with cameras could be hiding guns. Well, have cameras that look like guns that look like cameras that could be hurting the Prime Minister. So because he said with the technology nowadays, it could be crazy and stuff like that. And I asked him, would it not be a double standard to basically center us out as wanting to hurt the Prime Minister when there's, say, like paparazzi and other journalists and stuff like that going around and following celebrities or even Stephen Harper and politicians, for example, to ask them questions? Like, how is that not a double standard?
That's a very good point. That's a really good point. Why do you think? What do you think that is? That I mean, there seems to be, this is like a new trend amongst authority figures. Perhaps it's a change in their training, but they're starting to look at independent journalists, activists, researchers who they might call conspiracy theorists. They're starting to just demonize the whole movement and look at people as potentially being violent or involved in extremist groups. Have you noticed an increase in that? It seems like these guys are being trained now to look at guys like you and me who are doing the types of things that we do as the enemy.
Oh yeah, I feel it's very evident. Just looking through the media and stuff like that, the way that certain activist groups are demonized and marginalized, and yeah, basically all this propaganda basically marginalizing conspiracy activists into a category of wackos and extremists that are going to go out and cause violence onto other people.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no signs of that here in Canada whatsoever. I don't know what they would be basing that on. In fact, they're the ones who use extreme tactics, like we've saw at the G20, like we've seen with some of the, the dressing up as the Black Bloc and these sorts of things that these guys have done. They're the ones going around terrorizing people here, and we are simply just trying to get the word out and do what we feel is right, essentially. But it looks like we're starting to be looked at as the enemy, especially when the RCMP starts showing up on your front door wanting to have a meeting with you just because you spoke your voice loud and clear to Bilderberg boy Stephen Harper there. So Anyways, man, that's a crazy story. Glad everything's cool now. I guess that they just kind of left it at that, or what's the status of this right now?
Yeah, they said we're going our separate ways now. They said they could have charged me with something for following the motorcade, but I'm not sure specifically what they were talking about there.
They just decided
they're also playing the good cop bad cop thing. Like in the end, they seemed like pretty nice people. Just at the very beginning, they were trying to act intimidating, and yeah, it was pretty ridiculous at that point. But it got good towards the end. It wasn't like a heated debate or anything like that. It seemed like they were became more understanding after I explained to them my stance and what I'm all about.
Well, that's very important too, to keep your cool, remain calm, and maybe wake these guys up and enlighten them to the fact of that what we're doing is a good thing here. It's for your benefit as well. It's for your children. It's for you. And we're not the bad guys here, guys. We're not the bad guys. So that's great that it all kind of ended smoothly and calmly there. But it's still kind of sad in this day and age that you'd have to be contacted by the RCMP just for voicing your political dissent. But again, man, I want to encourage you guys to keep it up. You're clearly having an effect. And keep up the great work, man. Thanks again for coming on and speaking with us today. If you have any other points you wanted to add or anything I didn't ask you, or if you want to shoot out some plugs, you got some websites or anything you want people to check out more from you guys?
Yeah, just go CanadianAwareness.org. They're all amazing folks in Canadian Awareness. They're all really passionate for what they do. And yeah, I'd say definitely check them out. They're a really good group of people. We're here to help humanity, help this world become a better place. So yeah, join the resistance.
Absolutely, man. CanadianAwareness.org, ladies and gentlemen, is the site. Please check it out. Great bunch of guys out there doing a lot of great work. Once again, thank you, Lucas, man. You take care. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks. You too.
Later.